It is Friday and this is your Friday Live. It's possibly the last bit of talking I'm going to be doing for today. So this week, as you can see, I'm up in Auckland and I'm just finishing the week. Yesterday I was presenting at a conference and today I've spent all day facilitating a Women in Leadership workshop. So work that I really enjoy, but as any introvert out there will identify with, when you've done that much talking, you kind of need to go home and spend some time in a darkened room by yourself and not talk to anyone, which is what I'm hoping to do now. So I'm just waiting for my flight and I'll be heading back to Wellington. So this rounds out the busiest month that I've probably had all year, and it's one that I'm really pleased to get to the end of, not just because I've enjoyed it and it's all growth and it's all amazing stuff, but I've managed to get to the end of it in one piece and I'm not sick and I haven't burned out, and I put that down to a lot of the healthy habits that I've really tried to focus on really hard. This month, it was one of the things I knew when I looked at how busy this month was going to be, one of the things that I knew had to be a priority, and I've made sure of that. And those of you that have heard me speak before and that follow me know that I talk about self-care a lot, but this is more than that. This is more than self-care, and that's what I want to talk about today. Self-care beyond spas, I guess. Self-care is not all about massages, having a spa and going to bed early at night, although that obviously plays a key role. Self-care is about how busy we allow ourselves to become, and that's something I've reflected on this month. It's how we treat ourselves. It's the voice we talk to ourselves in our head. It's so much more than the traditional looking after ourselves that we often think about. And part of self-care as well is saying no. So that's something I want to touch on today, because I know for myself, I've never been very good at saying no. I think initially when I was younger, I didn't want to offend people, and that's why I wouldn't say no. And I think part of our people-pleasing tendencies as women, we often struggle to say no. And as I've grown older, I've noticed that there's still this resistance to saying no, but it's more about helping people and wanting to help people. And I've noticed over the past year, I've always said yes to anybody that wants to meet me for coffee. And as that's become more and more, I've started to run out of days of the week, and I'm putting additional pressure on my schedule. So where do you draw the line? Where do you say no? And how do you deal with, as a woman, the feeling of guilt that often brings, particularly if we're having to say no to friends or to family, and how we prioritize ourselves without feeling selfish. So there are many different ways that we can say no. There are many different ways that we can protect ourselves and look after ourselves, and that's something that I'm going to be writing about next week. So stay tuned for the article, some top tips on saying no. I'm going to practice saying no tonight. So when I fly home, it will be Koru hour, and this month I'm trying not to drink, so that will be really good practice for me in saying no. And then next week I'm back up here in Auckland, and so we've got the Imposter Syndrome workshop on Wednesday night at the Ridges Hotel in the Auckland CBD. That's about sold out now. There was only about 1 or 2 places I think left on that. And then I'll be running a workshop again up here next week for Heartland Bank, which I'm really looking forward to. But otherwise, I am so happy to be heading home and heading to the weekend. I have nothing planned for the first weekend this month, and I'm very excited about that. And I'm going to go home, take a break. I hope you all have a fabulous weekend, and we'll catch up next week.